IVM.
Dude, did you guys hear about Ariana
Grande?
Yeah, they broke up.
I mean, I saw it coming.
No, what? What are you saying?
Yeah.
They had name tattoos.
If you're like, yeah, everybody has name tattoos.
Listen,
when they fall in love.
She had a song named after him, and
So
she obviously.
well, it doesn't mean she doesn't like him. They're just
don't
too
know, I
young.
don't get this.
Right.
Welcome to another episode of IVM Likes. I'm Surbhi, and today in the studio we have Niveditha Prakasam.
Yay!
Hey, welcome.
I was waiting.
Yeah.
For you to say my name so I could do that.
Welcome to the studio. Thanks for being here. And
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about this.
It's great. Niveditha, also meet Jaanam. Jaanam's a fellow producer.
Hi.
Yeah.
We said that at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
Jinx.
Yeah.
You're best friends now.
That's what it means.
I thought you have to take one of our names so we can start talking.
Oh, wow. I completely forgot. Oh, this is a fun game. Drinks. Niveditha, go.
All right.
Fine. Now that that's done, we can talk about this episode. Guys, I'm really excited because today's topic is female friendships in pop culture. Yeah, I have so much to talk about. Oh, I
There's
had
too much to talk about.
Yeah. Abbas was really keen to be on this episode, but I was like, you know what, Abbas, settle down. Let me take this over.
The ladies are taking over today.
Yeah.
That's right.
But hey, Abbas, I'm sorry. Okay, cool. So round one is obviously, we're going to recommend some stuff. And who wants to go first? Jaanam?
Cool. I am recommending a TV show called The End of the Fucking World.
Ooh. Do you want to say it? Do you want to say it again so we can beep it like multiple times?
The End of the Fucking World. I'm going to keep saying it throughout this monologue of mine. So the show is available on Netflix. It's a British dark comedy drama. Although there's more of drama than comedy, I would say. It's quite. Have you seen it?
I haven't watched it, but
Okay.
I've seen it on Netflix, and I keep thinking I should watch it, but I never went to doing it.
Yeah. So I started watching the show. I watched half of the first episode. It seemed interesting, but I had other things to watch. Like season 5 of BoJack came out. I was like, let me finish that and then get back to this later. Mm-hmm. So I was a little skeptical about getting back to the show because the first few scenes only really dark, really messed up. They show these two really messed up kids. Their behavior is just like. You're just like, what the hell? How can kids be like this?
The British are into these type of things. Like, I've seen a lot of British shows that have this type. There's a show called Shameless that's also
I've seen it.
a very disturbing dramedy. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes some time to like latch onto the characters because they're so flawed. I'm like, why am I rooting for you? You've literally murdered someone right now.
Oh man, this show is literally that.
it's
The
literally
first
that.
season is like these 17-year-olds just sick of basically they have both so there's Alyssa, who's again like 16, 17, and there's James, he's also 18, whatever. And both these kids have really troubled family lives.
Yeah.
And so the James has seen his mother commit suicide. So he grows up believing like he's a psychopath and he's really like messed in the head. And Alyssa also has like her dad left her mom when she was young, and her mom remarried this really douchey guy who like hits on her and is really like creepy to her.
Yes.
So she's just like, F this shit, I am out of this house. So she comes across James and both of them just leave their houses literally and they just abscond together. He steals his dad's car. They go out of the country. No money on them. So they're like trying to figure out how to like eat and survive, and in between like the car catches fire. So they're like throughout the escape, there's like a lot of challenges they're faced with, and they almost get caught. Like the police are after them obviously because they don't have money, so they're stealing from people, eating at restaurants and not paying and just leaving.
Oh my god.
So there's a lot of that stuff happening.
And you know what? It makes me think, I feel like this is a much sadder show compared to BoJack. Even though like it touches like a lot of much like deeper aspects of life. But like since you're seeing real people do this, and BoJack is animated, so like it kind of like balances the whole thing. But this one's like really intense. I could only sit through like 4 episodes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I should watch it. I'm into these types of things.
It's really great, and like I didn't expect when I started watching the show, I didn't know it's only 8 episodes. I just watched it. I didn't check how many episodes it ends at.
Season 2 like coming up?
It is coming, but I don't know when exactly. But I don't think it's anytime soon because this one just launched like early last year or something. So they're probably taking time. And yeah, man, it's just a great show. Like, just check it out. It's if you're into dark stuff, just it's fun.
Yeah, all British shows. You have to be into like dry and dark humor.
Have
if
you
you
seen a
want to
show
watch
called Dark?
a British.
Not
It's a German
yet.
show.
The reason I haven't gotten around to watching it because the subtitles and the show is in
Yeah,
another language, so it's
same.
too much concentration.
That's true. Like it feels like a project. Like I have to sit through this.
Yeah.
What's your take on shows with
What is
subtitles?
that? What is that German show that you said?
Dark.
I'm guessing it's dark.
It is.
then.
I bet it's dark. I bet it's really dark.
I just wanted to do that.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing, the European mindset. I don't know why they want to bring in so much darkness into their entertainment. Maybe they don't see it in real life.
Really?
Maybe they have very comfortable lives or something.
Oh man, yeah, their team
So-
must be really nice.
Yeah,
Just
I don't know.
like-
I don't know.
Oh,
I
I
just
don't
find
know.
it so strange that Europeans come up with such messed up storylines all
Have
the
you
time.
watched Broadchurch?
No.
Okay, that's also like that was a last British crime show I watched. I had
man.
recommended it on a previous episode, but even that's pretty. It's the overall theme is very dark, but
Jaanam, you need to get a grip.
aesthetically-
What are you doing to yourself?
It's beautifully shot. It's every frame of that entire show is just so beautiful.
Stop.
It's
Stop
painful. That
watching
show is
this.
painfully beautiful. Just watch it.
Can you watch something nice?
BoJack.
Like a cartoon for once. Not BoJack.
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 Wow. That's the thing about this generation. Like now after Netflix has come in, like the whole... we started glamorizing this whole thing
Yeah.
about being sad.
Yeah.
Like I'm just
And flawed.
Yeah, I'm being alone at home, just watching Netflix alone. I mean, it feels
But majority
nice.
of the content on Netflix is actually pretty dark and pretty like messed up. Most
That's
of
true.
it.
That's
Most
true.
of it.
That's
is.
true. Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for the recommendation,
Yeah.
Jaanam. Moving on to Niveditha, what have you been watching?
I've been watching. Look, first of all, there's so many things to watch, and
That
I'm a
is
TV
true.
addict. Let me just confess, I've always been, since I was a child, I've always been a TV addict. So there's I thought for at least 1.5 hours yesterday before I came up with the show. But I think I'm going to recommend to you guys something I watched as a kid. Alright, it was a cartoon called Hey Arnold on Nickelodeon, and it is by far the best show I've ever watched in my life.
Whoa. This
Yeah.
includes non-animated stuff also?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Just because, maybe it's because I was very young at the time, but it was probably one of the only shows that did not underestimate children.
Okay.
So the thing about kids shows, I remember when I was a kid, I used to like all the shows with deeper storylines, and a lot of shows at that time did have deeper storylines. Like, think about Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, yeah.
Those were really, some of them were really scary.
I remember some of them were like very, and they also dealt with how this dog has been through so much trauma. Everything
Yes.
is PTSD. Oh
And
my God.
even the people, the grandma and grandpa in Courage the Cowardly Dog, they had very deep characters. Like you could see, there's just something about those cartoons, right? And Hey Arnold is like the epitome of all of those. Like it's just about these high school kids. Hey Arnold and his friends, and Arnold lives with his grandparents, and they have this little apartment that his grandfather owns and lets out to all these other people. So there's so many characters. I think the best part about Hey Arnold is the characters that they have in it and how flawed those characters are. Like, how we're talking about how Netflix is doing that now, bringing sadness in and making it like the center of everything. Hey Arnold did that in the 2000s in a cartoon.
Whoa.
Except it wasn't sad. It was very balanced.
Okay.
So it was,
I mean, obviously,
it
because
was
it's
like real
showing it on
life.
television on Nickelodeon, which is meant for kids.
Yeah,
so,
meant for kids.
yeah.
And I think it addressed a lot of issues. Like, I remember Arnold had this neighbor who was Mexican. All right, and there's this entire episode where he can't speak English properly, and I don't think he can read. I think that was the problem. So there's this entire episode where he's finding his way back home.
Okay.
And they follow like this. It's just a parallel storyline in the episode, but that really did catch my eye. And it's just the obstacles he goes through trying to find his way back home, not knowing how to read properly. It's like a test. Like Arnold teaches him how to read, and then he puts him in a railway station and says, you know what? Puts him in a subway. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
And then he says, find your way home. And then this guy, the episode goes through how he, finds his way back.
Oh, man.
And it's just, you see, that's the thing. The characters in this are just so wholesome that you, even now as an adult, I think back to Hey Arnold and I think about the things that he did or she did. Because, so there's this antagonist in Hey Arnold called Helga. Okay? She's this girl who, she's very tomboyish. She's like into sports and contact sports with boys, and she's really tough. But she wears pink ribbons and a pink dress. Like, I think it's supposed to be ironical.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I tweeted about this also, so you know this is legit.
Yeah, of course. You're really into this show, we can tell.
I'm really into this show. I was and I still am. So this is one of those things that has stood the test of time, I would say, because I still...
Is there one specific episode that you want to recommend, like that episode that stayed with you?
There are a bunch, actually. Because the characters grow, so you find new things about them. Like this Helga girl, she is largely disliked by her peers, alright? And she loves Arnold passionately. Like, I mean, I haven't seen this even in like mainstream.
Man.
Like, she loves him, but she'll never let him know. Nobody in the
That's
cartoon
mighty
knows.
matured of her.
Yeah, but the thing is, she's really mean to him.
Oh my god. That's the best form of flirting, when you like really meet the other person.
Exactly. And then she'll go behind a wall when he's not looking, and she'll, whip out a piece of paper and start writing a poem about how beautiful he is.
Man, so relatable.
That's two different extremes.
But nobody knows. Like, all of the Hey Arnold world has no idea that Helga is passionately in love with Arnold. Only we know as viewers. Nobody else knows. And then she has one best friend called Phoebe, who's like a pushover, and that's why she's her best friend, who she treats very badly throughout the TV series. But Phoebe is okay with it. She's just like this overall nice person who will do anything for Helga. And Helga takes advantage of that. And Helga has a very perfect sister called Olga.
Ooh.
Alright, who's beautiful, and Helga is drawn as not very attractive, alright? And also, she doesn't care, Like, there's this one episode where the girls try to give her a makeover, and it turns out to look really bad anyway. But she has a sister who also gives her, like, these little insecurities because the sister is perfect.
Yeah.
Right? And she's very nice, too. Like, she's not mean like Helga. She's actually a really wholesome,
nice
perfect person. Yeah.
Yeah.
And... yeah, I think I would say like there are a few episodes that stuck with me. One is that one with the Mexican who finds his way back home.
Nice.
I really liked that one just because it showed like the diversity and how you can include people. And then there was another where Helga is found to be the smartest girl in her class. So she takes an IQ test with the rest of her class. Turns out she gets a perfect score, which means her IQ is the best in the class. But she's actually a very average student.
Oh man, that's saying a lot, because that's amazing.
So that's what I'm saying. Hey Arnold is great. If people haven't watched it, they need to go and slowly look through the episodes.
How many seasons does it have?
I don't know. Like, I just I watched it for like
but it's not
2
the kind of
years
show
or so.
It's not the kind of show you can start from anywhere. You'll have to start from the start.
No, it's a cartoon. So you can start from anywhere. It doesn't matter. It's just that, I guess, the character growth, you'll know only if you watch it from the beginning. But I don't think it matters. Like, you can just choose an episode. It's very entertaining. The show is very entertaining. These are all like little minute details within the show. But overall, even for a person who doesn't care about these things, it's a very entertaining show.
Nice.
I'm honestly surprised. How long back did you watch this?
I watched this when I was 13, 12,
I'm so
13.
surprised you remember so much of it.
Look, everybody who's watched Hey Arnold, this is like a cult thing, alright? It's a cult. Like, everybody who's watched Hey Arnold I was just telling Akash Mehta outside that I was going to recommend this, and he was like, this is the best show ever. When do you think he watched it? He probably watched it when he was 13, 14 too, because that's when it came out. And it just stuck with us because it was phenomenal. It was a really good show. It was so well written. I think writers of cartoons on Nickelodeon were better than movie writers at the time. Just because they put so much effort into character building.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Man, I don't even remember the things after I watch it. Like if I've seen something last week, it's out of my head. I'm just like, move on to the next thing.
I know the reason for that, because now Netflix is you're consuming so much.
Yeah.
But at the time, we would just watch it on TV, which means you'd have to wait every day for the next episode.
Yeah, right.
And you would really, when you were watching it, you wouldn't do anything else.
That's
You'd concentrate on that one show.
Yeah, because then back then you wouldn't have your phones to look into when you're watching something. I feel like that also kind of deviates our attention.
Also, as I said, I'm a teenager. TV addict. So I used to spend a lot of time watching television. It was my thing.
That's great. Thank you for your recommendation, Niveditha.
You're welcome.
I'm definitely checking out this show.
I'm also super
I've
into
really hyped it up, haven't I?
Yeah. This has to live up to expectations. All right, moving on. I'm going to recommend a podcast. Okay, because since the topic of the week is female friendships in pop culture, I was listening to this podcast called Another Round. Have you guys heard of it? Okay, so Another Round is like the idea itself is super fun. Two friends, Heaven and Tracy, they sit down and they drink while having the best talks, like the best kind of friendship discussions of all time. Like, it seems like they're your friends, like the friends you're yet to meet. Like, but the more you listen to them, you realize like the topics they discuss. So they discuss gender, race, and like pop culture and everything. But they seem like the friends you are yet to meet. So like, again, it's super fun. And throughout the episode, they're drinking and they're talking. And they have like the best kind of guests also. They've interviewed Roxanne Gay. They've interviewed Hillary Clinton.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're people our age, which makes me feel like so like wow. Like, and also throughout the time they're drinking. So it's like a balance of being serious and fun. Yeah, they also interviewed, I think one of my favorite episodes was with Aparna and Anchela, because that's when they're discussing therapy and like how it's helped them. So they ask the best questions like, so what is it like? Do you actually have to lie down on a couch? Is it
I've
true?
always wondered, what did she say?
So she said, no, you don't have to lie down on a couch. Okay. But like for this episode, they also asked Aparna about the question, why do a lot of people fall in love with their therapist? Like, if you have like if you're a female therapist and you're a guy, why do people fall in love with them? That's because you finally have someone who's listening to you. And for hours, like, they forget the part that they're being paid to do this. So they're like, oh man, I guess I'm in love with you now. So it's a quite fun episode. And throughout, they have like really intense conversations while downing shots. So it just makes it super fun and like a fun balance of serious and
wow.
Yeah, it's really enjoyable. You should check it out. It's called Another Round with Tracy and Heaven.
Awesome.
We'll definitely watch it. That sounds like a lot of fun.
You should listen to it.
Yeah.
Also, will you get like free therapy from it?
No, I don't know. But like so I do this thing every time I'm alone at home. I turn on this podcast and it feels like I have friends over.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my, that's a little sad.
When I say it. I think, if I say it out loud, it sounds a little sad.
No, you know what? You know what's funny? Even my time watching Hey Arnold and stuff, I think the reason I was so devoted to those characters is because I didn't really have a lot of friends and, you didn't have an outside life when you were 13, 14. So all these people would be your friends, like people from Hey Arnold or Harry Potter,
Which is what? I feel like pop culture does help us like fill a void. Like,
it's comforting to know
that
these fictional characters are around.
Yeah, and especially with podcasts, because you're listening to them directly in your ear. They're like, they basically feel like they're talking to you and you're a part of the conversation.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, let's do a quick recap before we go into the break. Jaanam, what did you recommend?
I recommended The End of the Fucking World. It's a television show on Netflix.
What did you recommend, Niveditha?
I recommended Hey Arnold.
Okay, I recommended the podcast called Another Round. Okay, before we move on to the second round of where we discuss female friendships and pop culture, this has been a great segue, by the way, because we're discussing Another Round with two female hosts, Tracy and Heaven. We can now segue to a second round, which is female friendships and pop culture. But right before that, we're going to take a quick break.
All right.
Hey everybody, it's another great week on IVM Podcast. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Also, please remember to tell a friend about podcasting. We really want you to spread the word. You are our biggest ambassadors, I tell you every week. This week on Cyrus Says, we have creative director and producer Joel Pereira. Joel talks about working across platforms like TV, print, and digital. On Simplified this week, Chuck, Narain, and Shrika do an episode on China and its relationship with India and other neighboring countries. On The Scene and the Unseen, Amit Verma decodes the IL&FS crisis, India's banking system and regulatory regime with journalist Vivek Kaul and economist Ashutosh Dattar. This week on Shunya One, Sheila Dutta and I talked to Sanket Shah about InVideo and the amazing journey that they've had over there. On Geek Fruit, Jishnu and Tejas embark on a hot take fiesta of Will Smith's entire career and give the definitive ranking of all his movies. On the Kinetic Living podcast, Coach Swurmi spoke to Ashton Doctor, who is a habit coach. Listen to this episode to find out his interesting insights on eating fruits. And with that, let's go on with your shows.
Hey guys, welcome back to IVM Likes. We're discussing female friendships in pop culture. Woohoo!
Yep.
Woo. Yes. Give me a F. Give me a E. Give me a
M.
Yeah, give me a M-A-L-E.
Oh, okay.
All right.
No.
So that just became male now.
Yeah. Oh, shit. God. Males. God, I hate males. Alright, guys. We're discussing female friendships. And cool. I'm going to start with my favorite people who I'm obsessed with.
Okay.
Okay, have you guys seen
Broad City?
Oh, yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. I've been talking about them all. I think I spoke about them yesterday also. 'cause-
Okay, I haven't watched it, so you guys are gonna have to
I'm gonna have to tell you this. So, have you been for the last 2 years? Do you notice a lot of people saying the phrase "Yes, Queen"?
Yeah, more like
Oh my
yes,
God,
yes,
is that where it's
queen.
from?
Yeah.
This is from Broad City.
Shut up.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I can't believe I haven't seen it then.
You have to go watch it.
Yeah,
This is
I will.
it's such a weird and wonderful friendship, dude. I am every episode I'm amazed by how sometimes it feels like a little codependent, but I'm all for codependent friendships. I want someone to text me, everything that's happening in their lives. So I'm all for it. Have you seen Broad City?
I haven't watched the new seasons, the last couple of new seasons, but I think I watched the first 2 or 3. Probably, yeah.
You know what's
it's
best
great.
is because they are also the creators of the show, so they're not just acting; they've also written it down. And then
You know how the show came about?
Yeah, it was a web series.
Yeah,
first.
and Amy Poehler picked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, Amy Poehler. So it's kind of really, I want her to take me under her wing. Yeah, just give me.
You
stuff.
want her to be your mentor in
Yeah.
a way. I know everybody wants.
Oh my God! Just remember, why do we call mentor men? Why is there a men in mentor? That's weird. Be a mentor.
That's something to think about
that
tonight.
makes you think, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, but Broad City and Ilana and Abby have the weirdest friendship. I think it's in the first season. There's an episode where Ilana is having sex with her boyfriend while Skyping Abby, and it's so weird because you don't know it. You don't realize that she's just moving. So you're like, what's up? What's up? That feels like she's somewhere else.
Also,
And then,
we don't know that
we don't know it. We don't know it. Even Abby doesn't know it. And then later the camera pans out and you see she's riding her boyfriend while Skyping, and her boyfriend says hi. It's so weird.
And they also Skype each other while they're taking a dump.
Yeah.
And it's just
I feel like
no boundaries.
I feel really bad that I haven't had this type of a friendship with
Same.
anybody.
That's a little too. I mean, I wouldn't mind if this friend just walks into my life.
The thing is, I don't even have I move a lot, so I would really love the show. I know it. I know it just because I love seeing these kind of friendships.
I know.
Yeah. Also, that they're just so real, man. You feel like how they're shown on the TV show is how they are in real life. They're not pretending to be other people.
Do you think they are though?
They are. I
Okay.
have a feeling because I've also seen their behind the scenes footage, and they seem like that. Also, they write the show together, and the new seasons they've also directed some of the episodes. So I feel like they're really collaborative. Also, it's not just we're friends. They really push each other. Hey, let's do something extra this season. Let's do something we haven't done before. So real friendship also leaks into their show.
That's so nice.
It's really fun. What about you? Have you what female friendships do you root for?
So, I have a few. I my earliest memory of female friendships in pop culture is Monica and Rachel on Friends.
Were they friends? I haven't seen Friends.
Oh, you haven't watched Friends?
I haven't watched Friends.
Okay.
Wow.
That's...
Alright guys, I feel a little excluded now.
No, I hadn't watched Friends for a long time. I came under peer pressure and watched it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I feel like even I've missed out on a few episodes here and there, but on television, whenever it used to air and whenever I was free and available, I used to just sit in front of the TV and watch.
Wow.
So I haven't seen the show in order, but I feel I've covered pretty much 90% of the episodes. But this is just Monica and Rachel were just
they're very
yeah, and it's at that time, maybe now if I watch it, it's a little different because how times have changed. But back then, in 90s and early
back
2000s,
in the
90s, yeah,
okay.
when they were on famous
and they were
TV
famous TV show.
they it just felt a little real that time because they used to get into these fights also, and also Rachel had this long-term thing with Ross, who was Monica's brother, and yeah, it's just
no, and also that the whole comeback thing, they were friends before, and Monica used to look up to her.
Yeah.
And then they grew up and things became normal.
Right.
And then it was almost as if Rachel depended on Monica after that.
That's so true.
Yeah, there was like a little flip in their friendship where, both of them helped each other out at different times. I don't know if Rachel helped Monica in any way in high school because she was just a popular brat. But at least she was like a figure for Monica to look up to or, to
aspire to be.
Yeah.
What about you, Niveditha? What are some female friendships you look up to?
All right.
Okay, go for it.
After cartoons from the 90s and the 2000s, my other thing that I really love are video games. All right?
Wow.
Yeah, I love video game storylines. And there's this one video game called The Last of Us.
Okay.
It's actually an apocalypse game where it's a zombie apocalypse. And there's this girl called Ellie. Okay, she's the only one. So the whole plot is that Ellie's the only one that's immune to these zombies. Like, she's actually gotten bitten.
Okay.
But nothing happened because she has something going on. So there's this guy called Joel who's supposed to take Ellie across and find out how she's immune to this.
Joel is not immune to this.
Joel is not immune. He's just like a really buff man who protects her. And now he has a project to take her to the other side, right? And Ellie is this really tough character. Like, she's 12, 13 in the first part of the video game. So she's like a little girl, but she's really strong. Like, I mean, she has a gun and shoots these zombies and stuff like that. It's a very intense game, first of all. All right. And
where do you play this? On a PC? Is this a phone?
I watched the gameplay of this.
Oh, wow.
That's how into these video games I am.
Wow.
It's actually a Naughty Dog game. The people who came up with Uncharted, same people. So it's Naughty Dog's video game. And it's very, like, you have to have a PS4 and stuff for that. I don't have a PS4. So I watched the gameplay of this, but I'm not ashamed of it. I really like this game.
The game.
And but it's great because the story is unbelievably. I don't think anybody can make a movie off of it just because of how in detail this video game is. And Ellie has a friend, and I forgot what her name is. I think it's Marlene. I don't know what her name is, but she has this best friend who she's always been best friends with, and she doesn't come throughout the game. All right?
Okay.
But Ellie keeps talking about her, and then once or twice in the gameplay, you'll get to see her.
Ooh.
And she's also equally,
immune.
if not more, equally cool, like Ellie is. In fact,
she
cooler.
also immune?
She's not immune,
Okay, she's
which
not
is the
immune.
thing. So we don't know if she's dead or alive either. So we only get to see when Ellie was, before the whole apocalypse happened, and she was actually friends with this girl. Like, okay, Ellie was born when the apocalypse happened.
Ooh.
So these girls grew up during the apocalypse. So they have this friendship that nobody else can understand. Because they grew up at this time where everything was
a mess.
going crazy. But they just found each other so comforting that... And they were very similar. Both of them like the same things. It almost like... They both kiss.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, at one point. And it almost... That's like an indication that Ellie is lesbian in the video game. But that friendship, like, it has a lot of tension also because, both of them have different goals. Like, one of them wants to, like the other girl that I'm talking, her best friend, she's very adventurous.
Okay.
And just the little time that they show both those girls, you just know that Ellie is never going to find anybody like that again. And it's very bittersweet because you can see their friendship is unique, but that it's not going to happen. Like, she might be romantically involved with the girl again. Like, the second part is coming out now where Ellie is a woman and she's like grown up.
I can't believe this is a video game. It's just so in-depth emotions.
Oh my God, you don't know video games. Video games are... I don't know, like, people should start playing video games instead of watching movies just because the storylines in video games
oh my God,
are
I want to get
something
hooked.
else.
I honestly, like, I've heard, like, these Geek people talk so much about video games, and also Alika is so heavily into it. I used to play a lot of video games as a kid, but I outgrew it, and, like, there were just other, like, priorities changed. But I feel like listening to Niveditha talk right now, I really want to get into it, but I just feel like if I dive into it, there's no pulling me back like that. I'm just
that happens. I actually stopped playing video games when I was 14 because I was kicked out of one of my friends' houses for playing there for too long. And then I never played again because I didn't have the equipment for it.
I used to love video games. I remember playing Sims for like hours. Just like controlling the
Sims and like I loved Doom and Counter-Strike. Just such
I
a
love,
great
what was
release
that
of
Predator? There's a game called Predator, remember? There's a alien. Okay, I feel like a very little memory of that game, but I remember playing it. It was all dark. But yeah, guys, are we going to talk about our lords and saviors, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I don't think, like, every time they go on stage on the Golden Globes,
Yeah.
it's iconic. Like, they say
is.
something or do something that nobody has
it
done
always
before.
makes it the headlines. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
It's like you can't get
It's
enough
amazing.
of them. You want to see more of them. I feel like they should do a
They should never grow old. Can we just
Yeah.
say, can we just hold our hands and just say
say
it
that
out
they
loud?
should be immortal.
Yeah, Tina Fey
Yeah.
and Amy Poehler. We're holding our hands and we're praying for you.
You know what? I think it's gonna be fine. I'll tell you why. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, like, dates back to the Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Like, they've been working together. So if it has stood the test of time already.
I know they're not going to like break their friendships, but I just hope nothing happens. You know, it's like that feeling when you see your parents growing old. You're like, that I have that with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. They should not. They should stop growing older. Just, you know, because I want every generation to feel like, you know, to look up
I'm
to
sure
these guys.
new people will keep coming up. Like, I'm sure the next generation will have somebody like this to look up to, like a friendship.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know of anybody like right now? I know that Taylor Swift has these really strong female
It's
friendship
like a squad.
bonds.
I know Serena Williams and Venus Williams are sisters, but
They're
they're
sisters.
also super. I don't know, like there's something about their sibling. Like this also kind of feels like friendship because they like play together and they like win.
Oh no!
together.
But the thing about Venus and Serena is they've fought fights together. Like, I mean, they're the ones who brought this whole issue of being paid equally
That's
and
true.
stuff. And they fight really hard. Like, they've always been those people that fought really hard for their rights, and both of them did it together. And the thing about Venus is, as soon as Serena came in, I feel like she just, you know, because she knew Serena was better than her,
Yeah.
she kind of let go. She like kind of stepped back a bit for her sister to take the limelight. And I think that's very endearing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I think Venus is a really good, but it says a lot about her character, you know, for her to step back from a game that she was ruling at the time, because, you know, and they even say like that their father, he brought Serena in later because he wanted Venus to have some glory days.
Oh man.
Because he knew Serena was better than Venus. Yeah.
Oh my
man,
god.
Yeah.
I was super intrigued by this. I feel like I need to read a book or two just about like Serena and
Yeah,
Venus.
I just read about a lot of people.
or a movie. This is a good movie story. What do you
Yeah,
think?
but I'm not sure. See, I'm not sure if that's true. It's like gossip, isn't it?
I
Like,
love
you don't
it.
know if it's true or not. But it just makes sense just because of how Venus just at the peak of her tennis career, just like at one point started stepping back for her sister to take over. I think that's pretty awesome. Like, Serena has won Venus in many finals, you know, Grand Slams.
Yeah.
But just for her to take a step back, I think that's
amazing.
yeah, that's really amazing.
Have you guys seen this Parks and Rec?
I was just coming to that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
speaking of Amy Poehler, Amy Poehler and Rashida Jones in that show,
Yes.
man. It's
I love it, Leslie Knope and Ann Perkins.
yeah.
And you know, the thing about Leslie, like, or Amy Poehler in that show is like she's also super passionate about her friendships. Like throughout this, like from the beginning, she's like, oh, you're my, you know, like she doesn't like.
She's super
filter.
passionate about everything on
Yeah,
that show.
that's
Like
true.
her work, herself, her life, her marriage with Ben.
Yeah. And you would think
Yeah.
the first show, you would think her job is stupid, but then like, the fact that she's so passionate about it,
Yeah.
you're like, oh wow, then maybe there is something about this job.
And like how she keeps calling Ann Perkins like, oh, you little tender, beautiful thing. And like,
You're a goddess.
yeah.
I feel that kind of really like inspires me also to like have really good bonds. In real life also, I feel like female friendships are kind of the best things ever. Because remember, like, just yesterday I was thinking about how we meet like drunk girls in the loo at a bar and they're also so friendly to us. They give us the best compliments.
Yep.
If you should just keep that going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like you're right. You don't get these kind of compliments from men.
Yeah.
because
Or it doesn't feel the same.
it
when you
doesn't
get it
feel
from a guy.
genuine.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
feel genuine.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I think it's a lot to do with all women in general. We have a very unique experience in the world. Like, men don't have the same experiences, that not even close. Like, they wouldn't even be able to imagine what it's like on the other side. You know,
Exactly.
just think about how it was when you were 11 or 9 and you hadn't gotten your period yet.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you would always wonder, like, as soon as you figured out that this was a thing that was going to happen, you didn't know what it was like.
Yeah.
But you would when somebody got it, you'd be like, what is it like?
Oh man, yeah. I remember my elder sister got her periods before me, obviously, and she went into like this whole depression phase, like, cause she was like, firstly she didn't know what was happening, and she didn't even come out and like tell us that I've got my period. She was hiding it from us the first time she got it, and she herself freaked out. She was so scared, and I remember I'm feeling like, oh my god, like, I'm sorry this is happening to you. I don't know what it's like yet. I will be there soon. And once I was there, even I was like, shit, my life is ending.
That's true. I feel like this whole idea of being excited, like growing up, I wasn't excited about getting my period.
Not at all. And the sight of blood made me feel like, okay, I'm dying now. I don't know if you guys felt the same. Like,
I mean, it did feel a little weird. I was like, okay, not like I'm dying, but I was like, oh, not me, God, why did you choose me? Did it have to be me? I'm such a good person.
I didn't think about it much. I just remember being in a very bad mood the first time.
Same.
But other than that, like, it never really affected me. But like, I knew that I didn't know anything about it before. Like, until you experience it, you really don't know what it's like. So really, it's kind of unfair to think men would be able to have like any kind of empathy because they just have no clue at all.
Idea.
Right?
Yeah. What's it like to have a male? I mean, I don't know.
Like an erection or something, like in class when you're sitting and listening to a teacher, you get an erection. We'll never know that feeling.
Dude, I feel like, female friendships in real life are super enriching also.
Yeah.
I love this phase of my life where I'm making more and more female friends.
Yeah.
Like, I should, I don't want to let go.
And you bond over like really grim things.
Yeah,
like
really.
grim things. Like, we're talking about really sleazy men, but we're bonding over
we're bonding.
it.
Like, alright, men are trash. Everybody hold their hands. We're all in this together.
A lot of times that's what we end up talking about. People think we have pillow fights during sleepovers.
No. Maybe we do have
We talk about the world.
Yeah, we talk about the world. We talk about global warming.
Yeah. We talk about global warming.
We talk about intense issues.
Yeah, and our goals and dreams in life. Yeah.
While braiding each other's hair, we do that.
It's mostly while eating a tub of ice cream.
Or like a face pack on or something.
Oh man, yes. Oh god, I feel like we are living the life. What are men doing with their lives if they don't have a community like ours?
They go out and drink.
Oh man, suck it. Watch
we do that too.
We go and drink.
But then the better nights are the ones where you spend, at home doing nothing. Yeah, chatting.
I feel like sports is for men what female friendship is for us.
We're really stereotyping right
now. I know, I love it.
We're stereotyping so much. Like, I'm sure there are going to be like a bunch of women out there who are like, what? We watch sports. Who are these people? Who are these?
But can we all agree that sports are a waste of time?
No, I mean,
alright, okay.
I used to play sports. I can't do that.
See, I would say, like, I honestly, I'm not into sports. I don't play any sport or watch any sport, but I just like the thought that, like a World Cup, it's something. Yeah,
I love football.
It's something that at least unites the world. At least that's one phase or a few months where the world is not focusing on the war and crimes and people are.
Yeah, no, I'm really into the Olympics, by the way.
Oh yeah,
all these
that's
big sports
intense,
events. I am all for it.
Do you play a sport also?
I used to play basketball when I was in school and college. I stopped playing later because there's no point. But I really used to love watching figure skating and gymnastics during the Olympics. I used to love
that's
that.
also super nice to watch.
Yeah. And also track events. I was into track so much when I was in school.
Really?
And I used to love watching track events too.
So fun.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like this has been a great episode.
Yes.
I'm literally, this studio
has been cathartic and therapeutic.
It's been amazing. Thank you so much, Niveditha.
I had a lot of fun. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you.
Wow.
Niveditha, where are you performing next? Where are your regular haunts?
You know what? I'm going to be in Pune on Sunday.
Wow.
I'm doing a show with Nishant, Suri, Dua,
That's
and
amazing. Wait, this is coming out on Monday. Are you performing next week somewhere? Sorry.
I have a lot of shows.
Okay, but we can follow you on...
please follow me because I post about all my shows on my social media.
Guys, please go watch her. She's funny. I've both laughed and cried because she's hilarious and she's so real. Please go watch her. She's amazing.
Wow. Thanks. Nobody has ever said that about me.
Yeah, you're amazing, Niveditha.
Thanks, dude.
There, I said it. It's off my chest now. Alright, guys. This is me, Surbhi. You can reach out to us personally on our Twitters. I'm at Small Talk Police. Jaanam.
I'm at Jaanam Devan on Twitter.
Niveditha.
Nive says.
on Twitter. Alright, you can also write into us on IVM Podcast. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And this was it for another episode of IVM Likes. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Look! Up in the internet! It's a meme! No! It's a cat video! No! It's the Geek Fruit Podcast!
That's right, we interrupt this riveting broadcast to tell you about our show, the Geek Fruit Podcast, where Tejas, Dinkar and I, Jishnu, talk about everything in pop culture, including DC, Marvel, Star Wars, Netflix, and everything in between.
You know how your friends hate it when you ramble about some nerdy crap and you just want somebody to listen to you? Well, sorry, there's nothing we can do about that, but come listen to us ramble and it'll almost be like the real thing. Kind of.
Listen to new episodes of the Geek Fruit Podcast every Monday and the Geek Fruit Bulletin every Thursday on iTunes, Google Podcasts, the IVM app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Happy listening, you nerds.
Have you gotten yourself a gym membership and shown up only a few times? Are long working hours cutting your fitness goals short? How about you change things a little? Even a small effort can make a big difference. And I'll tell you how and what exactly. Hi guys, I'm Coach Urmi, and on the Kinetic Living podcast, you can look forward to some interesting stories of people who have changed the way they look at fitness after their kinetic journeys. Episodes out every Wednesday on the IVM app, website, and anywhere you get your podcast from.